Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and I'm a little bummed we lost today, but it was actually a great game. There were a lot of positives, and there were some really crucial, debilitating negatives. But overall today was a perfect game for the New York Knicks' future, and I'll explain why in a minute. First of all, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit the thumbs up button and drop your comments. Love reading the comments. And especially right now when we're in this kind of difficult stretch. But I think the Knicks are showing life in ways that we had not seen for a very long time. They're playing well recently. They're playing very well recently. Unfortunately, today, matinee game in Brooklyn, the last game of the 7-game road trip. The Knicks lost 110-107. Brutal, especially late in the game. There were some mistakes that were made. But, Brooklyn made mistakes too. And the difference is they have an all-time great player on their side. Kevin Durant, RJ lost him for like a split second around trying to fight over a screen. And KD just drained a three-pointer that gave them the lead that they never gave back. I think the score at that point was 106, 104, or 105 or whatever. They were up by 1 or 2 points. And that was pretty much it. And then afterwards, the Knicks just kept committing turnovers. And we'll get to let's get to the highlights right now. Here we go. So it started off bad for the Knicks. They were down 13-2, but they fought back in that first quarter. They fought back valiantly. I thought that their ability to influence what the Nets wanted to do improved as the game went on. They lost that first quarter 35-30, so you can see they regained that some of the lead that they had cut into the lead that the Nets had established in that first quarter. And Jericho Sims was a big reason. He may have played his best game as a Knick today. Yes, even Julius got us off to a nice start, though he makes mistakes at crucial end game moments, and that is just indicative of a player who should not have the ball in his hands at the end of the game. Why that continues to happen, I don't know, especially after RJ. Even though RJ did make a couple of mistakes, I think he dragged his foot going into the paint. He dragged his foot in the fourth quarter there. But before that, he had gotten us 2 buckets right away. I think we actually took the lead. With those 2 buckets. In fact, let me confirm that 100%. Just want to make sure because it was a nice, bright moment. The Knicks had the lead. Yes, RJ. Yes. So RJ comes down. Randall hit 2 free throws. Then Fournier, with about 4 minutes left, hit a monster three-pointer to cut down the deficit to 101-99, so it was only a 2-point game. Bruce Brown missed a driving floater. Jericho got the rebound. RJ off a Randall assist. Boom, gets the layup, ties the game. Then Nets call a timeout. But Drummond throws the ball out of bounds. It's a bad pass. RJ gets it, Fournier assist, and lays it up and gives us the lead. So we were up 103-101, and that was with almost 3 minutes left in the game, 2:52, and the Knicks can only score 4 points after that. What a bummer. It was so tight. Look, you can see the Knicks actually even had the lead at one point in that second quarter. So this was a game that, you could say we should have won. Of course, anytime you have a lead late in the game, you should win it. However, let's kind of take a step back from that and think about this in terms of why this was a great type of game for the Knicks currently for the future. Number one, they competed against a day when KD was blazing hot. Scored over 50 points tonight. I can't remember the exact final thing, maybe 52 or whatever it was. Over 50 points. The second highest scorer for the Nets was Andre Drummond with 18. And they had a couple other guys with double digits, but no one else was having a big game except for KD. Now, in that respect, now that also the Knicks are tired. I heard that they got in at like 6 a.m. from their flight, and I don't think anyone went home. They just went to a hotel room. So they treated it as if it was a road game. So all that is, oh, look at that beautiful shot. Fournier, for all of his, issues on the defensive end, but when he is stroking it, he is a tremendous plus out there. Though the plus minus will reveal a different story, as you'll see. So here are the reasons why it was a plus. The Knicks actually late in the fourth quarter, who was on the court? Jericho Sims. Jericho Sims. That's what we want. We want the younger, whether it's Mitch also, doesn't matter. But at least it wasn't Taj late in that fourth quarter. But Jericho gave he had a tremendous game. Tremendous effort for him. What was his final stat line here for Jericho? Jericho's final stat line, he hit 3 of his buckets, played 23 minutes, 10 rebounds, 2 assists for Jericho. 6 points. I believe he had a couple of blocks. Oh, he only got credit for 1 block, but he definitely impacted several more shots tonight. So here you can see, towards the close of the third quarter, the Knicks had kind of surrendered the lead. That was a bad third quarter for them. And they got lucky with that shot right there. That was great. Here they cut it down to 7. Deuce in the game. Obi comes in. This is early in the fourth quarter. Obi hit 2 of his 3-pointers. Obi had a nice first game back. Good to see him. 3 of 5. 2 of 3 in 8 minutes. 8 points in 8 minutes. He was a +7. He could have played more. That's for sure. He could have played more. Randall played 37 minutes. RJ played 42 minutes. And I'll get into the RJ fatigue factor, which definitely influences a lot of what's happening with the Knicks. So you can see KD was just draining left and right. He's just an unbelievable player. Unbelievable player. I have issues with how he handles his social media and whatnot and his decision-making in terms of going to play for Brooklyn, altogether. But there's no denying how incredible a player he is. That was just a tremendous shot. That was the 3-pointer that I was describing earlier. They cut the lead to 2. And then here comes the RJ little curl. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. And he was getting his shot blocked earlier in the game a lot. So he finally figured something out right there. This was brutal right there. It was tied 103 here. This is the 3-pointer. RJ, he didn't even. There wasn't even a screen. He was just a half step slow responding. Then Randall made that play, which was nice. Cut the lead down to 1. But here, they didn't show you the turnover. This was that play right there. That was the inbound play off a timeout. It was Fournier in the corner. He was trying to feed it to Mitch, who had just come into the game. Why Mitch was brought into the game to sub for Sims at that moment, it's kind of hard to say. And that was the game. That was the game right there. I would have left Sims in. Sims can give you whatever Mitch was giving you. In fact, more. He had more energy. He was in the flow of the game. He was the one who was there to help the Knicks actually recover, take the lead late in the fourth quarter. But you subbed him out for Mitch. It's easy to criticize now, in hindsight. But Mitch was cold, and Mitch wasn't having it tonight. He only hit 3 or 4 tonight. He was getting owned by, once again, Andre Drummond. Mitch was a -17 tonight. Meanwhile, here we go. Meanwhile, Sims was a +20. So you can see the game flow here. The Knicks were the team that were fighting back from deficits. They finally were able to do it, overcome it, but just not enough, man. Just not enough. Now, they could be tired, and also Thibs just continually reveals that he's not a good late game execution coach. Just not. We've yet to see anything other than like that miracle shot that RJ hit, banked it off, hit it off the backboard against the Celtics. There aren't that many moments. There was one moment, there was one game where Thibs subbed in Fournier, and they ran a nice play to free Fournier out up at the 3-point line, and he hit that 3-pointer. I think that tied it. I can't remember which game that was, but most of the time, It's just blunder after blunder, putting the hands in the wrong guy, and a lot of that comes down to no point guard. No point guard. That's right. Now, I've been calling for RJ to get the ball in the fourth quarter and run the offense through him, and as you saw, he gave us those 2 key buckets, which gave us the lead. Now, why we went away from that? Because on either the following play or the play right after that, RJ was driving in the paint, and the defense closed in on him really fast. He didn't make a quick enough decision. He dragged his back foot, and he got called for a turnover. But that's not for traveling. But that's not a reason to take the ball out of his hands. He's your best option. He's your best playmaking option on the court at that time without Deuce or IQ on the floor. So again, this is the kind of stuff that is frustrating, because let's cut to next season. Let's say next season the record is reversed and the Knicks are 40-28 and we're battling for a home court advantage. But yet Thibs is still the coach, and he's calling plays like that, taking the ball out of RJ's hands at the time when it should be in his hands. This is the kind of decision making that we're talking about here. I really hope that Coach Thibs does not survive this season. That he's not the coach next year. I just don't see how he's earned his way to be the coach next season. And here's one of the reasons. This was tweeted out by NBA_New York basketball. The 2 best plus minus in the Nets national TV game were from second round rookies. Jericho Sims a plus 20 in 23 minutes, and Deuce McBride a plus 13 in 11 minutes. Why these guys have to keep fighting for more minutes against Burks, or the overloading of minutes on RJ, and why can't Obi as well get significant minutes, is just maddening. It's exhausting. Talking about this continually. There it is. Over the last, and then Tommy Beer tweeted this out, over the last 12 games, they are 3-0 when Deuce McBride plays more than 15 minutes, 0-9 when Deuce McBride plays less than 15 minutes. Now, that's a short, sample size, but it just shows the kind of impact that Deuce has on the game, on winning. The impact that Deuce has on winning. That's what this is about. And the experience he gains is invaluable. It's invaluable. Why? Let's just get to the Burks minutes. Yeah. Oh, here. I tweeted this out during the game, because in the third quarter, when the Knicks we were right there, and we let the Nets, pad their lead, and then they had to fight back again. The Knicks did. There were 3 consecutive turnovers in a row. Thibs' look of disgust after the Knicks' 3rd turnover in a row is sickening. Meanwhile, his point guards are sitting on the bench. How about you start the half with IQ or Deuce, coach? How about you once adjust, do an actual adjustment in the middle of the game? It was clear. It was clear that the offense was not working with Burks on the floor. His defense was, adequate, but nothing outstanding. I mean, Burks ended up a minus 14 with 5 points and committed 4 turnovers. So what the hell? This is why Thibs cannot continue as the coach of the New York Knicks. Right there. As you can see, Randall led with 26 points. RJ had a very inefficient 24 points. Fournier, like I said, he had an outstanding game for him, despite his defensive failings. But 5 assists for Fournier, 25 points. He had a really nice game. Unfortunately, Quickly's shot went away today, and we really could have used them. In fact, if Quickly hits 2 of 5 from a 3-point, Knicks win this game. So we really needed him. Really needed him badly. Now, maybe if he had started that third quarter, could have been more in the flow of the game, because once he's brought in, the deficit is increased. So he's constantly playing from behind. In fact, I may find out exactly what the score was when Emmanuel Quickly subbed back into this game. Because to me, that was a key moment. Let's see here. Look, I'm already scrolling unless I just passed. Yeah. 3:39 left in the third quarter. Emmanuel Quickly enters the game, and the score is 84-77. The Knicks were down by 7 points. And that was after the Knicks had a little bit of a flurry. So when Quick comes in the game, he's always behind, always playing from behind. Be nice to see him actually start a half or start the game as the point guard. The Burks thing is ridiculous. Look at Burks, 2 of 9, but he played 35 minutes. And meanwhile, Quickly was a +3. He was a +3. Man, there you go. Durant, 53 points. The Knicks held the Nets to 20% from the three-point line. Wow. But overall, almost 50% field goal. So that means they feasted inside the arc. At one point during the early in the third quarter, let's see here. Early in the third quarter, the Knicks, early in the third quarter, with about 9 minutes into the 3 minutes into the third quarter, the Knicks were losing 69-66, and Nets had only shot 17% of their three-pointers. We were about 30%, but the rebounding was killing us. They were killing us on the offensive glass. They were leading us 10-5, and that was the difference in the game because points in the paint was even, 36-34 at that time. We were leading in fast breaks, 12-9. Turnovers were even at 5. Assists were almost even, 14-16. Steals, 5-5. Everything was pretty much even. I mean, there was a little bit of an imbalance in the free throw line. They had taken 17, we had taken 13, but we had hit 11. So we were hitting ours, and they had only hit 12. So the game was there. And then that's why Sims coming in. Sims started disrupting the Nets' ability to grab those offensive rebounds and those second chance balls, those loose balls. He's very active. And Obi actually did a nice job. There was one sequence where I saw him guard possibly 4 different Nets in one offensive possession. Oh, man. And then look how they ended up. Now, the offensive rebounds. It was 10-5, so that means they only got 2 more offensive rebounds, the Nets, for the remainder of the game. For the last 21 minutes of the game, they only got 2 offensive rebounds while the Knicks got 11 total. So we got 6 during that stretch. And that was one of the reasons why the game got tighter and tighter. Here we go. RJ and a 3-point shot. So when RJ got injured in Denver, he had played, I can't remember the amount of minutes. It was something insane in like a 72-hour stretch, like way over 100 and something minutes, because he played like 50 minutes against the Lakers, and then against the Jazz he played a bunch of minutes, and he was playing against Denver. The game was already over. He just totally exhausted, right? And then he hurt his ankle. So he gets about almost 2 weeks off. He comes back against Miami. He goes, that's the game he scored 46 points. In national television. And thank you for Mark Jones of finally acknowledging something positive about RJ. So after going 6 for 11 behind the arc versus Miami on February 25th, RJ's 3-point percentage shooting has been 23%, including today's first half of 0 for 4. He's also leading the Knicks in minutes played during the stretch, 38.3 minutes per game. 38 minutes, almost 40 minutes a game since his ankle surgery. Fatigue setting in? Absolutely, fatigue is setting in. Got to keep him fresher. Now, Julius, actually, his minutes have been cut down. He's around 33 minutes per game recently, since the All-Star break, which is nice. I'd like to see, unfortunately, it's possible because, the Knicks are depleted. Grimes is still out. Cam is gone. And Obi, this was just his first game back. So it's hard, who else is there? So it is a little difficult, but Thibs has to make an effort to reduce keep RJ's minutes under 34 minutes per game so he can be fresher in the fourth quarter when we need him to take over the game. Okay, that's it for tonight, for today, for this weekend. The Knicks are now 28-40. And I believe they are, where are they now? They must be, it doesn't even matter. I actually want the Knicks to just play well, play the youth, and miss the play-in, and let's get a lottery pick, and let's get lucky in the lottery. All right, thank you so much. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see you around the Knicks-Verse!